Skip, how much
Yes.
trouble are the Spurs in?
I believe they're in a whole lot of trouble.
Look
They
me in my
just
eye when
dug
you talk to
themselves.
me.
Do I get to talk or you want to? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nope, I want to talk. I want to talk. You go ahead.
Go ahead, Skip.
Okay, thank you. I'll start over again. I believe they're in a whole lot of trouble because in game one at home, they just dug themselves a very deep hole, both series-wise and psychologically, because they just recreated a three-point shooting monster in the Houston Rockets. I still believe they will climb back into this series slowly but surely and eventually pull this out. But I thought it would be in 6 games, and when you lose at home that badly in game one, it's probably now going to take 7 long, hard games. And I've been watching this Spurs team. I've been a fan since the middle 1970s, so I've watched a whole lot of Spurs playoff basketball. I have never, ever, I've seen them lose like this before, but I've never seen them play so poorly on the defensive end as they did last night. That was the #1 ranked defense in the NBA on display last night, and it got absolutely shredded from the opening tip by James Harden and his three-point shooting snipers. I have never seen James Harden play a better floor game. For that matter, I've never seen the Houston Rockets play a better defensive game, which I did not see coming. And I thought that Greg Popovich saw what was readily apparent on TV about a minute and 20 seconds into the game. He called his first timeout, reamed out David Lee, but he was actually trying to ream out the whole team. He just picked out one of the veterans that he knew he could get away with screaming at. And he was basically saying, are you guys going to wake up or not? Because I've never seen my Spurs play so lifelessly on the defensive end. There was no intensity, there was no urgency, there was no energy, and it never came back. He called timeout after timeout, and not once could he jumpstart the team and get them to kick it into defensive mode as they did in the second half of some of those Memphis Grizzly games. So what did I think just happened last night? I think that against Memphis, they ground out a 6-game series. I didn't think they could win game 6, and they did on the road. You did think they could win that game. And I think they were really proud of themselves for winning a physical, highly skilled matchup against the very tough Memphis Grizzlies, and they thought the Rockets were going to be a walk in the park. They beat the Houston Rockets 3 out of 4 times, and in those 4 games, the Rockets shot from 3 29%. The Rockets in all 5 games against the Oklahoma City Thunder shot 28% from 3. You know what happened. Ryan Anderson shot 12% from 3, 12.5%. Ariza shot 18.8%. And even Russell Westbrook, as we just talked about, flying solo against the Rockets, had the lead going to the fourth quarter in the last 4 games of that series. So something good was happening for Oklahoma City. So I think bottom line last night, Spurs came out and said, we got this. No sweat. And before they even broke a sweat, the game was over. Because the same Houston Rockets who could not hit the broadside of an Oklahoma City barn from the three-point line made 22 of 50 last night. So they got up their 50 attempts that they like to shoot, and they made 22. And if they make 22 of 50 going forward, they're going to win the NBA championship because you can't beat that. They outscored the Spurs from the three-point line 39 to 20 by 39 points and won the game by 26 points. And in the end, bottom line, I think the Spurs were blindsided by a red-hot shooting three-point team that is now feeling really good about itself going into game 2, which will be do or die for my Spurs, and it's going to be very difficult for them to win. I think they can survive it, but it will go to the bitter end.
You believe they are in trouble, and you probably covered this game. You remember game 1 of the 1985 NBA Finals?
I was there, but it was at Boston. It was Boston at home, okay?
And they blew out the Lakers.
Yep, it was, 148 to 114.
And who came back and won that series?
Memorial Day Massacre. But again, Boston got game 2 at home. I mean, the Lakers, right. So again, that was Boston just took care of business in game 1, and you could just write it off as, okay, we got blown out. Let's see what we can do in game 2. And the Lakers won game 2 at Boston, and then they won game 3 and won game 4.
But you said the San Antonio Spurs are the best road team in basketball. You do not have faith.
They were until the end. They
Right.
blew it at the end. Golden State got them by a game.
You like to blame fault. So how much fault or responsibility are you placing at the feet of Greg Popovich for resting his players the last 2 weeks of the season and periodically resting Kawhi Leonard during the season?
What is this, like an interrogation? Are
I
you like
still-
Johnny Cochran
I let
now?
you talk. I let you talk. Now it's my
I
turn.
already told you what I thought. I hated it, but they got over it against Memphis after a slow start.
The number one defensive team in basketball
Mm-hmm.
gave up 69 first half points. Hold on. The Cavaliers were the 22nd or 23rd ranked defensive team in basketball. They gave up 74 points. And you're talking about they're terrible, they're awful.
They were.
The team with the best defense gave up 69 points at home.
Mm-hmm.
I thought in San Antonio they defend Alamo.
Mm.
I called
Now
the
we got Alamo.
Hold on,
jokes.
skip, hold on.
That was
I
kind of
ca-
a tragedy, actually.
I called the National Guard
Yep.
and I said I need 5 of your best men that can defend the three-point line because clearly the Spurs can't. You see, Skip,
They could in the regular season. They're
This-
fifth best against the three. That's pretty good.
this is why the gap between LeBron and Kawhi is as big as the Grand Canyon.
Now, Kawhi played very
Hold
well
on,
last night.
no, Skip, this is my time. Let me shine. Let me shine. You want to talk? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let me shine. Let me have my moment. This is why the gap between LeBron James and Kawhi is as big as the Grand Canyon. Because you know why, Skip? They're not asking what's wrong with Kawhi. They're asking what's wrong with the Spurs. Hold on, no, Skip.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
If the Cavaliers and LeBron James had ever been down in a playoff game by 39 points at home and they end up losing by 27, but it felt like 57, everybody would have asked the question, what's wrong with LeBron? Not what's wrong with the Cavs. Kawhi Leonard can never be as great as Bron because he'll never have to endure the pressure of what LeBron has to go through on a daily basis, on a game-by-game basis. You know that, I know that. Now, I just look, Skip, I
Tell
hate
me
it.
when it's my turn.
It's not your turn yet. It's my turn. Look, Skip, here's the thing. If I'm the Rockets, James Harden said it. I want to be greedy. Yeah, you always look, if we can just split, get one. But Skip, the way I look at it like cheating. I'm not going to cheat and make 95. If I'm going to cheat on the test, I'm making 100. So you're here. You got to stay in San Antonio another day. You'll play again on Wednesday. You might as well be greedy. Take sweepstakes.
That's what he said.
I want them all.
Okay.
Put them down 0-2.
Okay.
And I want to see Mr. Kawhi Leonard climb out a hole 0-2 because I know what somebody's capable of doing. Skip, let me tell you why.
Has
You
LeBron climbed out of an 0-2 hole in the playoffs?
3-1. Shh, Skip, this is why you might be in trouble. If LaMarcus Aldridge is only going to give you 4 points, you're not winning the series. Because, Skip, Kawhi is your superstar. Okay, let's say LaMarcus is a star. You need to be able to pencil him in. Says, okay, LaMarcus is going to give us 16 to 22 points. You got to be able to pencil that in, Skip. Because when I was in high school, Skip, I was in high school, I ran track. And my coach would, Shannon's going to give us 10 in the triple jump because I was going to win. Shannon's going to give us about 30 in the long jump. Maybe I squeeze a second.
Yeah.
Shannon's going to get this in the discus. The relays team will do this. Well, Greg Popovich.
This is a very small school, though, right?
I was the #1 triple jumper in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
I still got the
What
record.
class was it?
I was in class
Class
A.
A?
And was the
Didn't it
number.
go up to like 5A or?
Beat them. Beat the brakes off them.
Okay.
Ask Coach all about it. But anyway, Skip, there comes a time that Greg Popovich needs to be able to write down, okay, LaMarcus is going to give us 22 tonight. Pencil that in. Kawhi is going to be Kawhi. When is Kawhi ever going to get more than 7 assists in a game, Skip?